Okay, so we'll give everything a minute to get connected here. All right. And we should be, oh, we're seeing video. I keep looking at the wrong thing. Oh, that is just perfect there, isn't it? Can't believe I got it set up so good. All right, I forgot to make a video. I don't know which microphone I'm using though, but I forgot to make a video last week. We'll assume that it's the camera microphone. It doesn't tell me which it is. Okay, I forgot to make a video last week. And so I wanted to go through what we've got going on here. And you can see a little bit of shadows, but I guess that'll be okay. And you can see that we got the little man walking. This little triangle here in the middle you see over him, that's another story. We'll get to that in the end. Okay. And you see we've got, well, I don't want to talk about that one yet. We'll talk about, I have no idea what that phone is doing. We'll talk about this in a minute. So you see we've got the road here that he can walk up and down. And we've got him where he runs into the wall, he stops. I think we talked about that last time. But now we've got these, got a plant in a barrel over here, and we've got this road that he can walk down. And we've got these plants. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is adding sprites. Okay, so let's look at the code. And what we've got, we detected that your network quality is poor, which may impact your streaming experience. Okay, that's kind of frustrating. I don't know why they think my network quality is poor. But let's see what we've got here. Let's start. Okay, the two sprites, you know, is the background, the upper portion and the lower portion of the background. And the warrior, obvious. Right button. Okay, so these are triangles. It's just one little triangle there. Sprite, just one sprite for the triangle. And we duplicated it 4 times and rotated it. Okay, and the block, I believe that block is that red triangle that we're working with, because the road block is this paving stone, and we only need one of those. And we have a planter, which is the 2 little planters here, but we have a barrel which includes the planter and the barrel. Let me see. Why do we have, yeah, okay, go away. Where was I? We are looking for, oops. All right, so we are using what did I do? I put it in here. Uh-oh. I've lost my sprite. I wonder why. I'm not looking at the right thing. Oh, this is it here. Good grief. All right, so you can see this little planter here is the planter here and here, but then we've got the barrel. So I'm using just this top piece, and then over here I'm using this bottom, the whole part there for that. And so I'm just cutting out pieces that I want to use instead of having it as a specific, what am I trying to say? I don't know what I'm trying to say. Because this one, you see how I have it cut. It is 63 pixels in height, and it's only 32. Each one is 32 across. So down here you'll see, okay, something else I want to talk about that I did first. Okay, we have our declarations here, and then methods. I pulled a lot of this out, or this part out. You see I've got the check collision, and this is where I have him have checking to see if we're running into the side. Okay, that's all we have right now going on. But later, I'm going to work on making it where when he runs into an object, and this is what this red square is for my testing purposes, to make collision detection for an object on the screen, because I want him to run into stuff and stop, right? But that's just the testing spot right there. So anyway, I want to have it all in one method. And right now, this is all for just running into those outer walls. And you see I have a series of if statements. I think that's the best way to do it. If anybody thinks there's something else, another way to do it, put it in the comments. And then you see I have the check touch for when you are touching the screen, that it's, where's it at? So that's what this is, check touch. And I made this method, I pulled that out of the loop to make it easier to look at. Actually, these two, what I would like to do is move them to the bottom of the code, but then they have to have declarations up here at the top, because the code doesn't find them down at the bottom, and so it'll throw errors, or the compiler doesn't find them, and it'll throw errors. So anyway, so then here we are in our setup, and you'll see, okay, this is the background sprite. This is creation of the background sprite. And down here we create the warrior sprite, warrior, and the buttons. The one button, we only have to have one sprite for it. And this is the block. This is that one that I have in the center there that you can see faintly. That is for testing purposes. I'll get to, that's project this week. We'll see if I get it finished. And the road block, and see there's only one block. Oh, draw block. Okay, that is the method, and it is draw block 2. So it's in my background 2 blocks. Let's look at that again. Blocks 2, draw blocks. And what I did is I moved that method. Let's go back over here. I moved that method down here to the bottom, because what was happening is it was looking for that array, and that array doesn't exist until after this. Oh, this is row 1. Okay, and so it was looking for that array, that row 1 array, and it didn't exist, so I had to move this down to the bottom, just for your information. So I just wanted to move because they're redundant. Here's this one for blocks 1. So I put it with the array and the variables that it uses in creating that blocks index, that blocks array for us for the 32. This is a 32 by 32 sheet, and it is the other one that is, oh, here it is. Here it is. That's this one here. And I didn't like these blocks, but it's there if I want to use it later. So that's the 2, and then like I said, I've got the little method that I call, and I did the same for the walking man. I moved his method down here at the bottom, the draw frame, and you send in the index and all that. And so you have to make sure at the beginning of your code you have all these includes. Walk, background 1, background 2. Okay, so then let's go back down to our sprite declarations. And we are drawing the blocks. We're getting that one image. That image that we want is number 1. So it's 0 and 1. This is it here, and it is 32 by 63. Block width and block height. Block width and block height. Okay, so then we're creating that image. Here's one for this planter, and block height -4, block height -4. Yes, I knew what I was doing at the time. Oh yeah, see, so block H, block 2W, block, okay, block 2H. I'm not using that one. I'm using this definition over here. Block H, 36, so I chopped it down to 32. That's kind of a stinky way to do it. I could have just put 32 in here and been done with it. And this is block 4, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is the planter here. So you see that's why I have it written as planter. And then barrel. Barrel is 32 by 63. So you see that one. All right. So we've got a barrel. And then we start our right. And I had to move this down to the bottom. I had it up here in the top, and for some reason it didn't like it. It wasn't putting my warrior at the beginning where I wanted him. So this is his start location defined here. Okay. So we go on down, and this is where we're getting at. Okay, so we've got get touched, if touched, check touch. That's that method I showed you at the very top. Up here, I pulled all that code out, put it up there. All right, so now that made it easier to look at. And here we go into defining our sprites, push, rotate, zoom. We got the right button, left button, up and down button. So we're using the exact same sprite, the same right button sprite, but we're flipping it 0, 180, 90, 270 to do what we want to do. Okay. And then we've got a planter here. And this is where I wanted to explain. We got the planter and the barrel here, and then we go into the roadblocks. I've got the roadblocks, you see, and I'm using one sprite for both of them, but I am rotating it. I'm incrementing this one in my for loop here. You see I've got the B for 4 blocks and the B for 6 blocks. And here I'm using it where I'm moving it. This looks like the horizontal axis, and this would be the vertical axis. And you see I've got this one rotated. That's why I'm still using the height here because I have it rotated 90 degrees. So, and I say x-axis and y-axis. So what you're seeing is the horizontal one is incrementing across there, and then the vertical one that I've got flipped 90 degrees, and it goes, excuse me, up and down. So that's how I wrote those. And then we've got the warrior. This is what I was trying to get to. We've got the warrior, and I've got another planter here, and then I've got that little red box in the middle. The point being, anything that is defined is written to the background. This is writing the stuff to the background when we do our push and when we do our push to this sprite here, which is the background sprite. Anything after the warrior, anything before the warrior, he's going to be in front of, like all the little blocks, the road blocks. But then anything that comes after and is drawn after him, like this planter right here, he's going to be behind. And I just realized I had this brilliant logic. Because what I was doing here is saying, pretending this is a Cartesian coordinate and this is the XY axis. And so this would be quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3. And I see here, this should have been a quadrant 2. And these other two should have been, this should have been quadrant 3 and quadrant 1. Okay, so in other words, this is the one he's walking behind. Excuse me. No, the weather, the pollen is so bad. I'm on all kinds of allergy medicine. So see, he walks behind that one because it's defined after. It's defined after the warrior. So it's drawn on the background after the warrior, so it makes it look like he's walking behind it. And the same with that one, the sprite I had defined called block. And see, he's behind it. I did that so I could see it good when he runs into it. So I'll have to do collision testing, checking, and that's the next step in getting this thing, and pretty much be the end of it. The only things that I'm thinking of is, okay, so if you have what I was thinking about here, you can have him go back here and the collision detecting will be like if he goes back here and he finds a key or something like that. And when he has that collision with that key object, then it'll be like, oh, you found a key, right? That'll be the message, and add it to his little belt or something. And then so the point of this is to detect and either block and make him not be able to go through it and stop, or find something when he hits it. It'll depend. So what's going to happen is there's going to have to be a list of objects with coordinates. Yeah, this is still a work in process. But it'll be a list of objects, and it'll be like an array of objects that'll have specific XY coordinates, and it should also have a variable for testing what the purpose of it is. If he finds something, if he just runs into it, if it's just an obstacle. So we'll see. We'll see where we go with that. Because something else that I dream of is having little like doors at the end of these paths so that when he runs into the door, we switch to the next screen, you know. And then not to mention have little houses here that he can maybe walk into a little house or a little cave. Anyway, we'll see how far we go with this. I'm starting to get distracted with another project, so and I think we've got a really good working something going on here. So that's where we're going to end today, if I can remember how to end this.